Hi everybody, today's video I'm going to show you how to take this and transform it into this. So make sure to stay tuned. Hi everybody, it's Donna from Donna's DIY and today we're going to get started on this wood dice that I found at a thrift store. Started with Coco and Sloan Chalk Paint, and I'm going to go over it with old white, and that I'm going to dry brush really light, and then I'll show you maybe on one side how you could also, instead of using the old white, you could use the white wax, or you can use your clear wax. So let's get started. Your paintbrush. Sloan paintbrushes actually are the bomb. They don't lose their bristles, so they're a little bit more pricey, but as long as you take care of them, they're going to last you forever. And then just go to your local hardware store and you can get these little cheapies for some of the littler spots. I've never used this color yet on any of my furniture, but what the heck, we'll try it on this one. Now I figure worst case scenario, you could repaint it again. And I'm not even going to cover these little black marks. I'm going to keep them black, but I don't want to take the time and cover them up with tape and stuff. I'm kind of lazy that way. I don't like taping off anything. And basically you just brush it on, and you will see the brush marks, but don't worry about that, because if you decide to do a second coat, which I will, it will smooth out all those. I just dab that. Since this is, it's actually, I think, plaster of some sort, or wood. Look at me, I just touched that side. Huh. But there is some chippy marks in here, and it's like some type of laminate on top. And what normally you would do, what you can do is fill this in with wood putty and sand it down and then go over it with paint. But I don't mind right now those chippy marks. And if I don't like the way it looks at the end with the chip marks, I'll just go back and fill them in, and then just do some layering with the paint, just a dry brush. And that way you don't have to go all the way back and do the whole thing all over again. Alright, there's that side. Let's do this front piece. I found these at a thrift store pretty cheap. There's actually 3 of them that I have. I think I bought them all 3 for $5, which was pretty good. And if you want, you find things like this at the thrift store, and then you turn around and sell them for 3 times as much, if not more, depending on the item. And you can make some little side cash. If you're like me, stay-home mom. So now I need to do the back side. How am I going to turn this? Actually, I'll just do that. That's basically your first step, first coat. And we'll come back in just a moment, and when this dries, we'll do a second coat, and then we're going to do the old white wash on top, and then another side I'll show you the white wax. So stick around, I'm not done yet. So now we're going to do our second coat of the Coco. Only took took about 5 minutes to dry. It dries actually pretty quick. Really quick did the other sides, and we just have to do the top. And we'll be done with our second coat. I've been going inside the dice with, not inside the dice, but this little black area with my finger, just to get some of the paint off. I'll go back with it. You could even go back with a Sharpie, would actually be real easy to do. So, now let's do the top, and we'll be done with that coat. And we'll move on to the old white color. In my last video, I showed you how to do the color graphite with Paris gray over top. That's pretty easy too. I could have done that color on here, but I thought I'd do a different color, something different this time, because I do mostly the grays. But what the heck, let's try this color. The two coats. Now we just have to wait for that to dry, and then we'll move on to the old white. And we can kind of start layering, and you could also do on top of the old white, instead of the white wax, you could do the dark wax to give you some like a weathered wood, driftwood type color. So let's wait for this to dry, and we'll be right back. Okay, so now I'm back from having all that fun and do the dry brushing. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your, I have my old white is what I'm using, paint. I just dabbed a little in the cup, see right there, actually right there. And there's some water in there, and you just put a little bit of water on there, keep dabbing. And I also have a paper towel under here, and I just dab that. And what you're going to do is you're just going to, let's see if we can get it right here at the top. You're going to see how it makes these lines. With these cheapy brushes, it makes the lines actually pretty cool. Then you can go back with your paper towel, and what I do is I smooth out the lines so they're not so straight, more worn look. That's basically all you do. You can see that well. So now we'll do the top. And you can keep going back, because I might do a little bit more layering there. I'll do top here real quick. Kind of looks like barnwood. And what you want to do is on these edges, you want to do a little bit more. That way it makes it stand out. I actually think I'm going to go over this with some dark wax. I think the dark wax would be cool in there. Now, it's basically you just keep layering and layering until you get the look you're going after. Actually, this top part, you can see, get it up a little closer, but when I put the dry wax, not the dry wax, the dark wax in there, it's going to be pretty cool. So let's do this side right here. Give me some more white. Go over the edges. If you want it to be a little bit more shabby chic kind of looking, you can also sand some of these edges down, but since this one's kind of beat up a little bit, I don't think I'm going to have to do that. And you can't really mess up because you could just keep going back. If you, let's say you put too much white on there, go back with the first color that you used, the Coco, and just do a little bit more dry brushing on top of that. It's basically just a bunch of layers. It's pretty easy. Can't really mess up. I think it's the easiest. I think chalk paint's kind of the easiest paint to work with, to be honest. This is kind of almost the way I did it in the one video with where I showed you the bedroom tour and it had the end tables. They were dark brown and I kind of did about 3 layers. So it's this one I just did a little bit ago. And I'm going back over with the white. See, did I get all the sides? Nope, I got one to go. This one right here, we'll do that one super quick. Okay, I think I'm done with that little section. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to ask me anything. See if I can help you out. But you gotta make sure to subscribe because each week I'm gonna show a different video on some other project that I have. Okay, so now we're gonna take a little break while this dries. It's pretty much dry, but I'm gonna wait just a little bit because I think I'm gonna do another dance party. Okay, now we're back from all that craziness. And what I'm doing is I'm dry brushing some more with the white. And what I did, this is like super dry. So see how it's making that effect right there on the black. I did that, so Basically, you just keep pushing down a little bit harder on your brush and you'll get that effect. And like with this, I'll show you. See, it's pretty cool. It kind of looks like driftwood. And what you can do, like I did with my front door, I put some Abussun Blue. I dry brushed some little hints in there, which actually looks pretty cool. Maybe I'll do a little bit on this to show you. But right now, let's put a little bit of the dark wax on here. So I have any Sloan dark wax, of course. And I don't use the wax brush for this kind of thing, only because I have one. Those brushes are pretty pricey. So I just get your little store-bought one to do these little dry brush kind of effects. But if I'm doing a big major piece of furniture, yes, I'd use the brush. It's a lot easier. Not this little doohickey. So you're going to do the same thing with the wax, and if you see, it makes these little, it kind of looks like wood grain marks. It makes it a little darker, so you can keep going back and forth with this. Even though it's wax, I do, because I'm not putting a full what do you call it, a full coat all over it. It's, if I want to go back and put some more paint on top of it, I do. It does still work. And then what you do is you just smooth the wax down, and it kind of just all blends in, if you see. Here, I'll show you a little up close. And see how it's blending in when you rub it? It's pretty cool. So you basically just keep going back and forth. Let's say you get too much and you're like, oh my god, what did I just do? You just wipe it. You see it kind of just blends in. Plus you can go back with some more white. It's a, you know, step-by-step layering. If you want this type of look, the whole layers. And another color that you can add is you can put the gray in there. That's, I have a little bit of gray in the end tables of mine. So let's do this side real quick. See, it just smooths it out. So it's looking pretty good. So what I'll do is I'll finish some of the other sides here real quick, and then maybe I'll show you a little bit of gray on top of that, maybe some Abussun Blue. That way you can kind of see a whole bunch of little colors in here. I'll show you what Abussun Blue. So that's what we're going to try right now. I'm only going to put a little bit on. It basically will give you kind of more of a beachy look, and you don't want to do, I don't usually do over the whole thing when I do the blue. I just do, you know, little spots. And what I did with the old white is I went around here in the little black part, and I'm not even going to use a black marker like I said. I'm just going to keep it the way it is. I like this look. It's kind of a little weathered look, which I like. So see how this blue I'll show you. I don't know if you could see it that well, but it's very faint, and I like that effect because it kind of looks like it's beachy. This is some of the same colors I used in the front door. I forgot to say that I used Abussun Blue when I did the front door. So basically you just do the same step, dry brushing here and there, little spots where you want it to show. Pretty easy. And if you keep your brush pretty dry, you can push down hard on it and it gets some cool blue effects on there. I'm actually liking this right here. And I want to go on these edges again. Kind of have to keep layering the edges. Kind of more of a worn look right there. I'm liking that look. So what you're going to do now is what I'll show you right here, and then you're pretty much done. You can go over it with the clear wax, and that you're going to want to use your wax brush from Annie Sloan. And here, I don't have that much left. So you're going to put your brush in it, get a bunch on there. Basically, do this hand. Just want to go all over it. Actually, the wax, it blends it in, believe it or not. And then you're going to take your rag to buff it out. Okay, so let's do this one more time. Basically, there you have it. Your old weathered look dice. It's pretty cool, don't you think? And I'll finish the other sides later, and this is what it looked like before, and now we have this pretty cool. Next week I'm going to have another video on a different project. Yeah, not too bad, I guess. What do you think? Yes? No? Yes? No? Oh yeah, did you see this? I have like a scratch on my chin. Guess who did that? Ted. Yep. Another battle wound, but that's okay. I'm back. Get out. Peace out. Till next week, remember. More projects. More of me. How can you not like more of me, right? Okay, bye. Did you guys hit the subscribe button? If you didn't, I think you need to. subscribe.